So this is a song I should probably re-record, but I never did. It costs a lot of money to record music, and it takes a lot of time. I guess that's why people rap nowadays, but I'm not going to do that. I think it's important to make real music with real instruments. And I sometimes don't use real instruments, to be honest. On the Santa Fe train recording right now, there is electronic drums and I think that's it. Electronic bass, too. The guitar and my vocal are actually from a bookstore in the Nob Hill area of Albuquerque. So I wrote that song when I moved to Albuquerque for cheap rent in my early 20s. I did that after I was touring and sleeping in the minivan. I was sleeping in a minivan, and I said, this sucks, and I want to do something. So I found somebody with cheap rent. It was the house of a bunch of transient people. It was a tech worker and his folk punk friends. I don't know how these people all came into contact, but I wound up there in the middle of the desert. They were like grad students. It was a bunch of losers. It was just a bunch of losers with cheap rent in the desert. But they were all older than me, actually. And just a bunch of failed millennials. I don't use the word millennials. A bunch of failed young people. Bunch of failed Great Depressioners, really. And that's how it is out there. It's dusty. It's a terrible, wonderful place. It's terrible and wonderful. Absolutely terrible sometimes, and absolutely wonderful at other times. I had amazing times in New Mexico, but that's how the song happened. I wound up out there, and I'm out there for a while, and I'm living very cheaply, not making much money, doing like deliveries or something, just surviving off my college fund, which I was depleting, and saying I'm gonna make it to LA or something. But hey, here I am. It was a very marijuana coated time too. It wasn't cogent. It wasn't a cogent. Is that the word? Coherent. It wasn't. I was not all there in this time period, and I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to be like McCartney, cogent, clear. Yeah, I wasn't thinking in a cogent way, coherent way. It's another C word for this. Clearly, yeah. It was a hazy time. But I had a good time. I don't know. I just hung out at the University of New Mexico. That's what I was doing. And this was good timing because this was before COVID started. And then COVID started. And I was touring before this. But I kind of landed in this desert town. The rent was $300. And I didn't realize it at the time. I was in the war zone. I was in the war zone. The war zone of Albuquerque, where even the locals don't go. Maybe my opinion of the place would have been framed differently, but, it's like the most dangerous city in the world or whatever. I mean, it's Albuquerque, okay? But I was in the worst part, apparently. And honestly, I didn't really know. But there was I heard 8 gunshots one night, and I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. It was not... It wasn't... That was the only time I actually heard gunshots, though. It was kind of chill most of the time. The war zone is right by the University of New Mexico. I would just walk around. I guess I wasn't in the real war zone. I don't know. I was in some kind of buffer zone. It's actually, I was living right by where the Isotopes play. I was living by the Isotopes Stadium for any locals. So it was kind of cool. I don't know. People would steal stuff, though. There were cockroaches. That's the weirdest thing. It's not it's different, it's different. It's very Mexico feeling. I don't know how else to describe it. It's the crime is not an American city type vibe. It's kind of softer and it's just a different vibe of they'll just steal your bike. and that'll just happen a lot. And you'll like there'll be like a shooting every like 6 months. Like that's how Albuquerque is. I don't know how else to describe it. But like beyond that, it's like the infrastructure is just insane. Like not the infrastructure, but the okay. So the hantavirus thing is happening now, and we would just get cockroaches. Like there would just be cockroaches everywhere. This is kind of why I left. Like, oh my god, and there was a lot of reasons I left, but yeah, one day I just came home to this like slum house, and there were just, and it was it was a nice, dope. I'm too nice of a person. It wasn't like a bad house. It's not like they took care of the place, but they were dumpster diving while I was there too, and I was like, dog, I can't. Like, maybe I'm just privileged and I'm living off my college fund, and I was taking a risk, you know. It's not like I'm super rich. If I were rich, I would have made it, but I'm not, you know. So I couldn't, and I was not cogent, and I was not, you know, if I were sober and richer, maybe I'd be a famous artist right now, but I'm not. And I was stuck in Albuquerque with other failed middle-class academics and artists and just weird failed people in the desert. And, yeah, they started dumpster diving. They were like folk punk people. Oh, I met Days and Days while I was there as well. It's a weird time. Anyways, the Santa Fe train. But yeah, it was just nasty. I mean, there were cockroaches. Not even, like, at this place. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just a one-off. Like, if you go to the Southwest, there's just beetles that just roam. But, like, I've seen that in, like, nicer areas. Like, oh, it's a beetle, cute. But, like, literal cockroaches just live at the University of New Mexico's Arboretum. They just, like, live there. Like, you go to their, like, greenhouse, and there will just be cockroaches. And it's just, like, why? And that's what I mean. Like, the hantavirus, like, I don't think it's just because it's, like, mice in the desert. It's, like, it's a dirty place. Like, Albuquerque's a dangerous, dirty place. The downtown strip is, like, and I love it. Like, it's real. There's not many skyscrapers. That's what I mean by, like, Mexican civilization. Like, it's a little different. Like, they're not trying to build, like, 30 skyscrapers. It's, like, 2 million people there, but there's, like, there's maybe, like, 2 buildings with more than 10 stories. Like, it's everything's just kind of Adobe. But anyway, yeah, the downtown. Yeah, so I'm sitting there. The picture on that video is my Yamaha. I wrote most of this stuff. Passing by is on a Yamaha plugged into a DI, and there's no electric pickup in that Yamaha. And you know what happened to that Yamaha? It broke. I think the strings broke or something. There was blood in it because I would play it with no pick and I'd bleed. I gave it to a Mexican guy and his family in a hotel room at the guest lodge in Minot, North Dakota for $50. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. And I was just pissed at music at that point. And now I have like a shittier guitar. That was a $500 guitar. Like, that's why Passing By sounds so good. It's because I was using a Yamaha something. You could look at it's the shiny hole one. The shiny, it's called a hole, I guess. Wow. Yeah, the shiny guitar hole with the green shiny pattern, full-size Yamaha, $500, maybe it's $1,000 guitar on sale. I don't know. It's a good guitar, and I give it to this Mexican guy, and I don't know if he just hopped the border or what his deal was. I don't know. I just remember saying I have a guitar, and this guy was like, "Oh, I'll buy it." And I was staying at the guest lodge in Minot after I left Albuquerque, and I was trying to put my life together. I went to Minneapolis, and I went to Minot, and I started drinking milk. Oh my God. So yeah, I was in Minot that was awful. I mean, it wasn't, you know, I don't want to offend people's towns, and it wasn't Minot that was the problem. I was in, like, the tweaker section of Minot in this, like, cheap motel, and it was like you could see the sky forever. It was cool. But yeah, this Mexican guy staying there with his like pregnant wife or something. And I just talk about, I'm like pissed that I have this guitar because I hated music in 2020. It was like 2020, 2021. I think it was 2020 still. And the world was like falling apart. So I'm in Minot. I can't tour anymore. I'm in the guest lodge in Minot for like a month in like July after I left Minneapolis after George Floyd died. I was in Minneapolis when George Floyd died too. Yeah, I mean, this isn't about Santa Fe Train anymore, but this is the story. So, yeah, but that's how I wrote it on that Yamaha, okay? And the Yamaha now belongs to some Mexican guy who, God knows what's become of him. And I sold it for $50, so that sucks. But the Yamaha's gone. And I wrote a lot of songs on that Yamaha. I wish I still had it. I like Yamaha. It's a clean sound. That's how Passing By sounds like that. So anyway, I'm wandering around Albuquerque. I'm just kind of hanging out at the college. I'm not going to college at this point. And I'm just meeting people. I met Days and Days at a house show. It was at the Culo Cabana. Isn't that funny? Get it? Culo Cabana. So, yeah, that was funny. But, yeah, I'm in this like neighborhood by the University, New Mexico, and I'm hanging out with the kids at University, New Mexico, and I refuse to go to school still, kind of because I'm like tweaking on pot all the time, and I was kind of just stupid, but I'm still stubbornly recording music, and I recorded so much music there. A lot of it, This Place Looks Like Suicide, that was recorded in the house in Albuquerque. A few other things. I don't know. A lot of stuff that sounds like really lo-fi with like a DI'd acoustic. That was in Albuquerque. But Santa Fe Train was written and recorded in Albuquerque, obviously. I mean, not obviously. Sometimes I definitely finished a lot of songs there, too. I finished Take Me Out Tonight. I just would put the finishing touches in my little room there. And the vibe changed. I mean, as bad as Albuquerque is, like, you get plenty of vitamin D. And I feel like the lack of vitamin D that I got when I was 20-ish, 18, like, it starts to catch up with you. Like, the climate out east is bad, like genuinely bad for you. I don't know if I'm predisposed to need more sunlight or what it is, but my whole energy changed and I just got happier in Albuquerque, which was weird. So I would take this train. And I would record standing up, DI'd into the Focusrite, and a condenser going to my voice. And I did a number of songs that way. I did, This Place Looks Like Suicide. That lo-fi sound came from squeezing the gain on the DI'd guitar in there. And what else did I do in that period? I was putting out a lot of music then. Let's see. So anyway, Santa Fe Train, I ended up going to play guitar at this lady's bookshop in the Nob Hill neighborhood. So I get to the Nob Hill neighborhood, and I'm like, hey, I need something to do. I'm somewhat of a musician. I go into like, what was it? Okay, let's look. Bookstore, Nob Hill. This is the less popular Nob Hill. There's one in San Fran. Organic Books. Yes, so Santa Fe Train by me was recorded on site at Organic Books in Albuquerque's Nob Hill neighborhood. That is a fact I can confirm to you right now. So the recording that you hear, that people complain too. I put it on Reddit, and they were just whining and complaining. They're like, this is out of tune. And I'm like, really? You care? Like, you really care? So yeah, apparently it sounds out of tune. I guess it does, but like that was spur of the moment. And I haven't gone back to record that since. I probably should. But that's just like a phone recording of my guitar and vocals in Organic Books in Albuquerque. And all of that is spur of the moment, coming up with it on the fly. How so many days in the rain, so many nights, black as the pain, and the pills and the rain and the sunshine. That's all just made up on the spot. So it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's none of that is like edited really. So all the guitar, all that riff in the beginning, all the singing, all the lyrics, that was just me coming up with stuff in Organic Books in Nob Hill. And I would sit there and play, and like nobody would show up. I think I had a Mormon girlfriend at the time, and she came. It was just me and my Mormon girlfriend. I never saw her again. And yeah, that's how I wrote Santa Fe train. I take the Roadrunner train up to Santa Fe from Albuquerque, and I was in my head. It was just having a good time, and I'd be like, "Wow, I just gotta profess my love for Santa Fe and my travels." And yeah, then I added those drums, and I think the hay shouts, the yeah, that stuff. The Mumford and Sons type stuff. Apparently, I recorded a cover of Poncho and Lefty, "Could You Be Loved," "Your Body Is a Wonderland," "These Days" by Nico and Jackson Brown, "Both Sides Now." Yeah, this was, I'm looking at, I recorded "Albuquerque Lullaby" by Dan Byrne. Yeah, I did, "Raise You Up Again" was a cool song. Yeah, this is what I recorded in the sunroom in Albuquerque. Maybe I'll call it "Songs from the Sunroom" and put it out. "She's Electric" by Oasis. There were a lot of covers in this period. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not even on the YouTube now. But yeah, that's how I came up with that. If you look up the song "Hold On," it talks about like the beating of the drum, "Hang On to the Waterfall." Yeah, those are all songs I finished in the sunroom in Albuquerque. Everybody Ate the Strawberries. I did all the editing there. Anyway, so Santa Fe Train specifically was just the live recording from Organic Books in Nob Hill in Albuquerque. And I put the shout haze, the stomp clap, millennial, whatever. I'm sick of the word millennial. 2010s stuff. It was my attempt at that. I don't know what it was. I don't really think I try and make timeless stuff. I try and not be a newsman and this is a millennial, be a hype man. It's timeless stuff. It's a great song. It sounds like it's there's a song about Santa Fe, like it's called a Santa Fe Trail, and it's actually by like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood put out a song called Santa Fe Trail, and he's got this low voice on it. It's actually hilarious. So I recommend checking that out if you got the time. But this was Santa Fe Train because there's a Roadrunner train, which is named after the cute little birds that live in Albuquerque. They run around, and they're really quick. They're adorable. They're all over the Southwest, and they're just these really quick birds that I don't think they even fly. I think they just run around. So the Roadrunner train runs from Albuquerque to Santa Fe. You can get there in an hour, and I'd take it all the time just for shits and giggles. And it's a walkable city, so yeah. And I just wrote that song because I'm just a wandering hobo, and it's like so many days in the rain, and the pills and the rain, the sunshine don't fade. All I have are the memories. Take me down, take me down, take me down, downtown. Yeah, the Santa Fe downtown is just wonderful. It's one of the few walkable places in the U.S. that's like worth walking around in. I don't think many metros are as like worth walking around in. I can see why Jeffrey Epstein chose that town, Kidding, right? Yeah, it's pretty sad. I actually went to Zorro Ranch as well. I've been to the Zorro Ranch. I pulled up on it on another visit shortly after Epstein was killed, I think. Yeah, I drove out there once and I saw the Zorro Ranch. It's creepy. It's really isolated. It's about 20, 30 minutes from Santa Fe. Yeah, it's some creepy stuff. I mean, he was really out there. I'm surprised Epstein didn't get the Hana virus. Anyway, the song goes, take me down, take me down, take me down, which is funny because I wasn't going down. I was going up to Santa Fe, but hey, you're going downtown on the Santa Fe train. Yeah, it's got a nice mystique to it, you know. On the Santa Fe train, all I got is the booze and the pain. My love is gone, gone away. She took the train to Santa Fe, and all pills and the rain. Yeah, it doesn't say much. I mean, it's just like the guy's an addict. His girlfriend took the train, and he wants to walk around the downtown Santa Fe. It's not a very deep song. There's a guitar solo. I like the opening line. So many days in the rain, because I went out there, and that's what I mean. Like, it was like I was sleeping in the car in like the winter in Chicago, and I was sleeping in Kenosha by Parkside. I was sleeping in the Parkside parking lot for a while, and I go from the Parkside parking lot into the music hall, and I wrote a lot of music in the Parkside music halls, believe it or not. If you don't know, UW Parkside is like a asylum of refuge for sensible people who are fleeing Chicago. Don't go to Kenosha, please. Don't ruin it. I mean, it's like the nicest community college you can find. The only comparable one is like Oakton. Anyway, I sound so urbane. I need to get out of this place. Anyway, yeah. I was sleeping in the car in Kenosha mainly, and no one would kick me. I'd just sleep in the parking lot at Parkside, and I'd go and write my songs on the piano in there, and they would never kick me out. It was open all night, and sometimes I'd sleep in there, and I'd write my songs isolated there at night like a vampire. I used to be so cool. I'm such a loser now, honestly. The more mainstream and legitimate you get, the more of a loser you are. That's what I've learned, honestly. It's good to be outside the culture. You feel more proud of yourself at the end of the day. But anyway, that's what my life was. But yeah, so many days in the rain refers to leaving Chicago and heading out to Albuquerque in the first place. As in, like, wow, I've spent a lot of time in the snow and the freaking, oh God, whatever. The no sun, you know, just the bad climate will really depress you. And that beginning line, so many days in the rain, so many nights, black as the pain. Those are good lines. Yeah, I mean, that's just getting out to Albuquerque and celebrating being there. And that's the song. It took place in the bookstore, added some drums, stomp claps. Reddit says it's out of tune. Maybe someday I'll record it. I think it might be cool as like an actual electric song. I have a demo. I've tried that sometimes. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks.